And what it really signifies is their hatred for Ted Cruz. They just, folks, it's the most incredible thing to sit here and watch all of this. They literally despise Ted Cruz. They are beside themselves with hatred for Ted Cruz. That goes beyond the rational. Except if it is rational if you understand the establishment's absolute hatred and distaste for conservatism. And these people are out there actually, some of them are actually saying that they would actively, publicly support and vote for Hillary Clinton over Ted Cruz.
Yeah, that would be good. All right, folks, that was the one and only Rush Limbaugh joining us now to talk about all this, whether it's the National Review coming out against Trump or many establishment Republicans coming out against Cruz or someone like Lindsey Graham coming out against both of them. Stacey Washington, host of Stacy on the Right show, stacyontheright.com, and Brad Hirschfield, author of You Don't Have to Be Wrong for Me to Be Right, and president of CLAL. A lot of rights going on around here. Stacy, let's start with you. What is going on within the Republican Party? They are just, they're eating their own if ever they ate their own.
I gotta say, I think it's fine for you to do whatever you want, write what you want, come out as a symposium or a group and say who you don't like. But we have to remember this is our primary, and we don't want to damage any candidate to the degree that they can't be the nominee afterwards. The Democrats are eating their popcorn and loving every minute of this. Meanwhile, we have an avowed socialist who's a communist in disguise in Bernie Sanders on the left. And just to the right of him, but still far on the left, Hillary Clinton, who's a criminal responsible for the deaths of Americans in Benghazi, getting off scot-free with no indictments on the horizon. So where should we put our fire? Over there on the left.
Yeah, Brad, I had Bill Kristol and Andy McCarthy on. They both wrote pieces for National Review. I just don't agree with it at this point. I just think it's harmful to the Republican cause.
Well, it may or may not be, Steve. So here's the thing. Stacey is absolutely correct, and Ronald Reagan was the greatest champion of this, that even in the midst of a primary debate, you don't so undermine other candidates in your own party that your party can't eventually win. And that is good advice. But here's what some in the Republican establishment have decided, and the polling bears them out. With respect to Trump, not so much with Cruz, which is why it's happened more with Trump than with Cruz, which is they believe he cannot win even if he gets the nomination. So the irony with Trump is that each day I actually think he's getting closer to winning the nomination of the Republican Party for the presidency of the United States, and with each step he takes in that direction, gets further away from actually winning the general election based on polling. So I think actually what some of these pundits are trying to do is recapture Reagan's premise and make sure, because remember, any process that within a party you are eating your own, they want to make sure that the person who wins at the end of the day actually has a real shot at the White House.
You know what? Even on the Democrat side, Stacey, you don't see the socialists going after Hillary. Oh, your emails are fine. This is fine. Your husband's fine. I disagree with you. And you don't hear any Democrat really saying, we can't let this socialist get the nomination. A couple of them have said, the Republicans, or I think one of the senators said the Republicans will run a hammer and sickle next to him. But they're not coming out against Sanders like the Republicans are coming out against Trump and Cruz.
Well, what's interesting is that the Democrats actually have a grip on who their voters are. The younger voters that they've lost because they don't have the demographic edge this time with the first black president. The first woman president doesn't seem to be doing it for their voter turnout. So they're looking at the numbers and they're saying, well, we'll let Sanders run to the left of Hillary. We'll let him say whatever he wants. We just want his voters once Hillary gets the nod because she has the delegates. He may have the huge turnouts, but she has the delegates. So they're smart in that way. We could take a page from their book and just say, look, any of our guys is better than these two geriatrics on the left. We have all of the answers. And let's start talking policy. Let's start hitting them on the things that they failed, because they both endorsed Barack Obama's presidency, the failed administration, the failed foreign policy, the failed...
There's a whole lot. There's a whole lot there. All right, when we come back, Brad, we'll weigh in on Hillary and what Michael McCasey wrote today about her and a future indictment and more. Don't go away, folks.
If you nominate Trump and Cruz, I think you get the same outcome. You know, whether it's death by being shot or poisoning, does it really matter? I don't think the outcome will be substantially different.
All right, with all due respect, that from a guy who got 0 when he ran and had to drop out, and he throws his support behind, another candidate that's not going to win. Rejoining us on the panel, Stacy Washington and Brad Hirschfield. I want to move from the Republicans and all this eating our own to the Democrats. I want to move to Hillary, and I want to move to Attorney General Mike Mukasey, former U.S. Attorney General Mike Mukasey, who said that criminal charges against Hillary, Brad, are justified. We also have former Defense Secretary Robert Gates saying that the odds are pretty high that Russia, China, Iran all accessed Hillary's server.
Yeah, look, I think Michael Mukasey is a serious guy, and to put it in perspective, when Bob Gates says it's likely, it's not just that he's politicking against Hillary. There are 100,000 hacks or attempted hacks every day against the defense establishment in this country. Leading contenders for doing that are the Soviet Union, caught myself, Russia, Iran,
What are you,
China.
you working for Putin?
No, no, that's his dream come true. See, that's my problem. I don't think he thinks there's any difference. Look, it's a serious problem. He has said that it is in the FBI's court. He has not said that she's guilty, but he has said, and it's really important, that there is reason to bring charges. I think that's true. I think if that happens, that's a game changer. Though what do I know? Bill Clinton survived, an impeachment, so who knows what Hillary can get away with.
Stacey, yesterday we found out that members of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee who oversee the State Department could not look at these higher than classified emails that the Inspector General has revealed in a letter Hillary had on her server. They can't see them. Yet Hillary's going around saying when she's asked about this, oh, that's a New York Times story that they're talking about that I had on my server. I mean, and she says it with a straight face, but I'll tell you what, I don't see how. If I don't doubt the integrity of the FBI. I do doubt the integrity of the Justice Department. But how could the FBI not send a criminal recommendation to the Justice Department?
Well, this is what I know from being on the ground and talking to people who are in Washington. And actually, I'm a veteran, so I had a secret security briefing. I had nowhere near the clearance level that Hillary Clinton had when she was in charge over there. But I remember the briefing. It was that serious. I was told that I would do time in Leavenworth if I transported documents or electronically transported documents off of secure servers, that I would spend time in Leavenworth, and that it was to my benefit to leave classified information at my level on the secure area where it was found, whether it was in a room or on an electronic device such as my email. And so if I could go to Leavenworth for that, surely she could too. But let's go a little further than that. We're talking about someone who she has routinely joked around about this, and she's flying it in the faces of other people. Like, was it General Petraeus who moved something, a piece of paper from one office to his home or someplace, and all of a sudden he's looking at jail time? We've got to be a nation of laws, which means Hillary Clinton has broken the law. And I want to see the FBI agents, 150 of them who are working on this, investigating this. I want to see them satisfied. I want to see the American people satisfied. She needs to be indicted. And they need to stop pussyfooting around this thing and let the girl have it. Let her pantsuit.
Wait. You can't steal Sarah Palin's line. Stop pussyfooting around. Brad.
No, I wouldn't want to misappropriate.
Yeah, right. Brad, what about it? I mean, I have confidence in the FBI. I have zero confidence in the Justice Department, especially after the Lois Lerner fiasco where no charges were brought.
Well, that's what we're going to find out, because if Mukasey is correct, the FBI will make a recommendation to indict, and the recommendation to indict, as it should be when it comes from a law enforcement agency like the FBI, is not claiming that Hillary is innocent or guilty, is not entering a political fray, is simply saying that based on the investigation that we have conducted, and the reasonable expectation that things were done inappropriately, which she herself admits to even when she doesn't mean to. When you send memos to people saying, oh, just take the subject line out and it'll be no problem. As Mukasey said, her state of mind may be in question, whether it was intentional or not. But what she did isn't in question, and it's surely worthy of an indictment. So at the very least, what I think we're going to find out, if the FBI does see this through to the end, is will they make that recommendation, and then the Justice Department will have to either
All right, very
act
quickly,
or not.
20 seconds each. Stacey, if she's indicted, if she's forced out of the race for whatever reason, Do they coalesce behind Sanders, or do they give it to Biden at the convention?
It's Biden and Pocahontas all the way.
And Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren. What about it, Brad?
It's hard for me to envision Sanders doing this, even with an indictment behind her, but you never know. You never know. It's a strange year, and strange things are happening, so you may be looking at a race between Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump.
All right, as we head into a snowstorm, Brad, to heed Brad's words, you never know. That's what most weathermen live by the way. Stacy Washington, Brad Hirschfield, stay safe, and thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. Up next, Give Me 5, more on the National Review and Donald Trump.